Hello everyone. This is the pre-market report video for today, 19th March 2024 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Early morning yesterday, before our market opening, Chinese government released the two important macro. One, industrial production growth rate for February month, and second, Chinese fixed asset investment, again same for February month. Industrial growth rate, it's straightforward. How much percent the overall Chinese industrial sector grown over a year ago? Here the data came as 7%, which is way more than analyst expectation and higher compared to previous month. So this first macro indicating the demand revival in China. Then the second one, fixed asset investment. This one is unique for China, meaning it measures the change in the total spending on non-rural capital investments such as factory, road, power grid and property. The data came as 4.2%, which is more than 1% higher compared to January month and also 1% higher compared to analyst estimation. Thus, the second macro indicates the Chinese government and private sectors in China together started to invest more capital. So both these macro made the whole Asian market positive. As I said, repeating again, because of revival in demand and capital expenditure. Thus, which in turn, as we discussed in the last video, made the whole Indian metal sector as super positive and the whole sector increased 2.5%. Here, especially Tata Steel increased over 5%, which got multiple block deal demand. In addition, Reliance increased over 1% as during weekend, Morgan Stanley released a statement that they were maintaining their overweight status in the stock with a target price of near 3050 rupees per share, which they expected to reach in the next 60 days. Those were the major contributors on the positive side. On the negative side, the main draggers were IT stocks, down over 1.5%, which in line with the US market Nasdaq Friday no rate cut negative momentum. Then another draggers were Adani stocks, as Bloomberg released the report that US government is conducting the investigation on Adani stocks to examine the potential bribery, which in turn made the Adani group stock except Adani Power to crash up to 5%. So overall yesterday there were some positives and more or less equal negatives. Hence if you see the advanced return ratio, which is 1.04, meaning slightly higher number of stocks advanced than the one declined. About institution, FII again turned as net sellers. The net sold for 2050 crore rupees, whereas DII supported the market as they net bought for 2260 crore rupees. So DII bought more than what FII net sold. So that also one of the reason for the positive close. These are the quick takeaways from yesterday's Indian market. Moving to US. Last night in the NVIDIA development conference, NVIDIA launched multiple new products, cloud-based research for 6G, new chip for AI and new chip for humanoid robots, etc. All these made the whole semiconductor stocks and sector very positive. In addition, yesterday there were some report that Apple is going to buy back their stock worth of over 20 billion US dollars in this present quarter alone. And also as per Bloomberg, Apple is in talk with Google for using their AI Gemini in their upcoming iPhone. Both these reports made both Apple and Google stock to close positive. Thus, in the end, Dow Jones increased marginally 0.2%. However, S&P 500 up by 0.63% and Nasdaq up by 0.82%. In case of VIX, it's again same as last two trading sessions, around 14.5. Here, please note, US market closed positive because of specific sector and stock positivity. However, global momentum is still kind of nervous about this upcoming Fed FOMC meeting on Wednesday night. And it did reflected on GIFT Nifty as early morning today 3 AM Indian Standard Time, it closed at 22,097 and for some reason still yesterday the premium was around 100 points, which usually at this point in the month would be around just 50 to 60 points. Anyway, equating it for 100 points premium to the spot, indicating the 40 to 60 points gap down opening. Regarding Indian ADR, again, despite the Nasdaq positive close, both the IT stocks closed negative, and on the positive side, both the banks closed on the positive note. Here, the surprising fact was, in Indian market, HDFC Bank closed negative of near 0.5%, but last night in US, it closed positive of near 1.5%. Then regarding oil, there was some conflict again in Russia, and this new improved China demand made the oil price to increase near 1.5%. At the time of this video, Brent crude trading around 87 US dollars per barrel and WTI crude trading just below 82 US dollars per barrel, 4-month high value. So those were the things happened yesterday and last night in the global market. Now let's look at the new India specific information. First, about TCS. As per Rogers.com, they are promoted today going to sell up to approximately near 9,000 crore rupees worth of share at the discount price of 3.6% from yesterday's closing. This info was released in the aftermarket hours, so potentially TCS will be on focus today. Second, similarly as per Bloomberg, Aditya Birla Sun Life promoter also expect to sell their stock of over 10% today, either in the open market or as a bulk deal. Third, finally, earlier we discussed regarding the US government investigation on Adani. For that, yesterday in the aftermarket hours, as per Money Control website, Adani issued the clarification that there is no such thing and it's just a rumor. Because yesterday the prices were dropped based on that news, today possibly that might create the short covering. As a summary, US market looking good and closed positive. However, I guess global momentum haven't improved, in line with that GIFT Nifty indicating the gap down opening. But on the positive side, banks ADR looks good. Let's see. Moving on, yesterday as per stock open interest, Coforge, Dr. Lal Path Labs, Apollo Tyres, MCX, UPL, Adani Port and Adani Enterprise got an increase in open interest along with a negative close, indicates the short build-up. On the other hand, Godrej Consumer Products, Zydus Life Science, Oracle FinServe, Bajaj Auto, NTPC, Motherson and Canara Bank got an increase in open interest with a positive price close, indicating the long build-up. About the things to look out, early morning before our market opening at 8:30 a.m. today, Bank of Japan's interest rate decision. Bank of Japan has been maintaining the negative interest rate from 2007 onwards, but at present today, market expects to come out of the negative interest rate territory after near 17 years. So if it happened today means then it will be an historic event, and for sure it will influence the US future market, so does the Indian market also. Hence, after watching my video, I strongly recommend to check the Bank of Japan's interest rate decision at 8:30 a.m. Then at 12 p.m. Bank of Japan's following press conference is scheduled. Thus, the global market is kind of waiting for what Japanese central bank might say about their future guidance. And around the same time, European Central Bank member speech and Germany's economic survey are also scheduled. Then in the aftermarket hours for US market in the night, new building permits and new housing starts for February month are some of the items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, yesterday Nifty opened lower and remained volatile throughout the day. It oscillates between day's low 21,900 and 22,100. Finally, it closed around 22,050 mark. Thus, on the daily chart, Nifty formed a small bullish candlestick pattern with upper and lower shadows, indicating the range-bound action. Thus, so far in the last 4 sessions, buyers managed to defend the 21,900 level successfully and sellers defend the upside 22,200 mark. So now breaking out on either side will define the momentum. Till that time, we can expect Nifty to continue the range-bound action. So a dip below 21,900 could strengthen the seller's position, and the next support region is at 21,700. And on the upside, a sustained upward movement beyond 22,100 may propel the Nifty towards 22,250 and beyond. Then in case of Bank Nifty, as an intraday, it went close near 46,000 mark in the morning. Then despite selling pressure, it recovered and finally closed above 46,500 mark. Thus, on the daily chart, it formed a small bullish candlestick pattern with a long lower shadow, which indicating some buying interest at lower level. However, for the 7th consecutive session, Bank Nifty continued to form lower high and lower low formation. So until Bank Nifty negating this formation, we cannot be positive. But suppose today if Bank Nifty surpasses 46,750, then it could improve the sentiment and in the near term potentially might move towards 47,000 mark. But negating that lower low and lower high formation is crucial, and on the downside the immediate support is in the 46,500 to 46,300 zone. Regarding weekly options front, the maximum call option open interest was at 23,000 strike, followed by 22,500 and 22,200 strike, with meaningful new call option writing at 22,700 strike and then 22,200 and 22,500 strike. Whereas on the put side, the maximum open interest was at 21,000 strike, followed by 22,000 and 21,800 strike, with new put option writing at 21,900 strike and then 21,500 strike. Thus, from the options data, it indicates 21,900 to 21,800 zone is expected to be the crucial support area, with the resistance at 22,200 on the higher side. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, so it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment decision based on this, as I am not a SEBI registered advisor. I am doing this for me and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.